You guys know, recently I've been doing quite a bit of work with flying machines and turning them into various forms of elevators. For example, this little thing right here that we've built on the Hermitcraft server that takes us from the storage system up to the top on the surface. Now the only thing is that if I boarded something like this in real life, I'd probably be a little bit terrified. I mean, we've got spaces to fall down on either side, we don't have a roof, so clearly the rain is actually dropping through onto it. I mean, it's not the most realistic looking elevator. So I thought maybe we could try and work on changing that. So this right here is what the original flying machine looked like. All I have to do is place in an observer facing upwards on this one. And there we go. There is the platform that we stand on. There is the actual mechanism. It's really, really easy. It's quite simple. But the thing is that it's 3x2. And I kind of want the elevator shaft to be 2x2. Which means that we're going to have to do a little bit of redesigning on that one. And I'm also just going to let this one fly off into the sky, never to be seen again. Now I'm going to make a flat assumption right here that it's not this easy. I feel like there has to be something that I've overlooked here, and this isn't actually going to function. So let's just remove this obsidian, and then this obsidian. Okay, we're getting there. And then let's see if it works on the way down. Okay, fair enough. So we've built... That right there is part 1. There is the floor, fully 2x2'd. Okay, now we just need to do one going in the opposite direction, and then we can have ourselves a carriage. So what I've basically done here is flip the design upside down. So you can see that is going on there, and on this side we have this going on here. And if I place in an observer facing in this direction, we might have ourselves a working system, and this thing could be functional. So... there we go, that one's going down, and if we hit that, that is going up. Okay, so that's going to be the top section of the carriage, that there is going to be the bottom section of the carriage. That's probably the trickiest bit done, and now we just have to work out all the timings. So in theory, all I have to do is activate both of these things at exactly the same time, and then they should fly at exactly the same time, meaning this distance between the two platforms will stay constant, giving us the illusion that we're inside an actual carriage. That is the plan. So, I've connected up a redstone line, and if we hit this button right here, they are slightly out of time. Not horrendously, but they are slightly out of time. So, I guess maybe change up the redstone timings. I'd say that was probably about 2 or 3 ticks between them. 2 ticks wasn't quite right, so let's give 3 ticks a go. And that is perfect. That is what we want. I couldn't get in there to try it out, but that was absolutely perfect. So both platforms were moving at exactly the same speed. And that looked like an actual elevator carriage. Okay, this is a really, really good start. So we've worked out what the timings are. Now we need to add in the stopping mechanism so that we don't get squashed when we actually arrive. How on earth am I going to do that? Oh, I hadn't actually thought that far ahead. I don't really know. We could extend out a piston to kind of block it. Or we could extend out a piston to push a block into the edge of this slime block right here, or any of the slime blocks, to put it past the push limit so that it has to stop. That could be a thing that works. And that could end up looking quite good as well, because then we can put it flush with the wall and you won't be able to tell that it's there. Yeah, I'd say that's a good idea. In fact, thinking of that, maybe we need a better way to update these observers. So you can see I've started work on the actual chamber itself, and now I'm just in the process of creating a kind of piston system, which means that this piston right here will retract very, very quickly and then re-extend, which should hopefully lock these slime blocks up at the top right here, which will stop this platform from continuing down and just squashing us, because we don't want to be squashed. You don't want an elevator that squashes you when you arrive at your destination. The only thing is that because I'm a moron, as per usual, I really want to make this as compact as possible, and I cannot think of how I'm going to be able to do it unless I run the redstone up like this, and then maybe have like a block here with redstone, and then I guess that would update instantly. We could be onto a winner there, and if I can make it that small, then That is completely ridiculous. I've got myself confused. Nothing seems to be working. I'm breaking everything. Right, okay, let's send that up into the sky. That will then get stuck up there. This one down at the bottom also appears to have got stuck. This is really strange. So, I've made some serious changes to the redstone circuitry. This thing should now be working as well, but also I've started work on the top section, and what this circuit up here should do is it should stop the system in the correct way, with the 2 block space up there. So, let's see. We hit the button, everything launches correctly. Now we wait and see if everything stops correctly as well. So the top one should be fine. Oh. Maybe 4 ticks on it? I mean, what I want to do, what has to happen is that piston has to be retracted when these slime blocks come past, so the slime blocks stick to it, try to pull it upwards, but then they can't because there'll be a block above it, for example these things right here, which means that that one will then be stopped. It will stay where it is. But to do that is a lot easier said than it is done, apparently. Ugh. Does 4 ticks work? Does 4 ticks work? Yes! It does! Okay, we've managed to stop them! Look! There we go, and then we just get out of the elevator. Yes! That is awesome. Okay, 4 ticks on that one as well. That means that that will function. Now we just need to do the sending circuit for the top section, and then it's all good. I sound like I'm blasting out some really scientific terms here. I promise you, it's not really that complicated. There's just so much timing work and just finickiness going on here. Okay, so we know that the launching mechanism down at the bottom here works. We also know that the catching mechanism up at the top is also fully functional. So now this elevator reaches the top there and it will stop just like that, and we'll have ourselves that area. That's good. Now we need to make sure that the newly built launching mechanism also functions and the catching mechanism down at the bottom functions as well. I guess. Okay, timing's definitely wrong. Things have gone wrong. things have definitely gone wrong. We've taken half the build with us. So, I can't even work out which way round that went wrong. I fiddled about with the timings once again, and I feel like we might be onto a winner with this one. So if I hit the button... Why do I even say that? Why do I say those sorts of things? Because whenever I do, it goes horrendously wrong. I think I might have found the culprit. Yeah, apparently I forgot to remove the obsidian that's down at the bottom, which is holding this thing in place. So now, when we hit this button... That one's a little bit too late, but it's absolutely minuscule. There's barely anything in it, and then obviously it stops. That's all functioning fine. So I'm guessing, I mean, it would have to be 2 ticks on that. So the top was running a little bit late. Okay, so if we hit this button right here, that will activate the system once again. We'll send it back up to the top. Hopefully everything should be caught properly and everything should be functioning fine on the top layer, which is good. Okay, now let's give it a go. Now it looks like this one's a little bit early. Are my eyes going funny? Those are definitely moving at the same time. So, it's either too late or too early. 3 ticks. I can't tell if I'm going crazy here. I think I've finally done it. I don't think I was going crazy. I think there was definitely a slight difference in the timings, so I got rid of the piston. I've replaced it with a redstone line going up into this repeater with 3 ticks. So obviously all of that system is still functioning, but when we hit this button right here, there is the down. Down we go. This is how this thing functions, and it seems to be working okay. There it is. There is a realistic piston elevator. Okay, we still have quite a lot of work to do in terms of decoration. Obviously, we need to actually create like a shaft for this thing to travel up through. But for the most part, all of the redstone is done. And, yeah, you kind of have to be wary of that sort of thing. Don't really want to be updating the observers. First test inside the actual elevator. We hit this button right here, and up we go. This is it. We've got a working elevator shaft, and then when we get up to the top, obviously, here we are, we've arrived on the level, and if we want to go back down, all we have to do is hit that button right there, and we go down. Now, obviously, because the blocks are dropping away from us, we do kind of fall and jump up and down inside the elevator, but that's no big deal. I can't believe how well this has functioned. Okay, next up, I want to add in the doors. Yeah, we need doors, otherwise this is a little bit lethal. Now, although I'll be the first person to admit that this thing isn't going to be winning any beauty contests, it is now all fully completed. So we've got some fences, which when we hit this button right here, they will pop up, which will stop anyone from falling down into the elevator shaft. And once we reach up to the top, you will also see that we have some fences up here, which will retract as we arrive. So that's all functioning fine. We've got ourselves a working safety system. Now, if I go down to the bottom and hit this button right here to request the elevator, obviously that will send a signal up to the top to tell the elevator to come down, and it will drop down to the bottom, and then once again, fence posts have dropped, and we're able to get through. And also, the fence post up at the top should have popped up as well, which means anyone who's coming past up at the top won't be able to fall down there once again. So, as far as I can see, I mean, it seems like it's all done to me. I can't think of anything extra that I can really add to this thing. It seems to be perfectly functional. It seems to be working quite nicely. It's not ridiculously complicated in the grand scheme of things, and it certainly isn't as big as I was expecting it to be. I personally am really happy with this design. I think it's gone really quite well. So if you have enjoyed this video, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. This is pretty cool, this.